Guys, it's Monday evening, and that means we're being joined by not only my brother G Funky Boxing, but the incomparable Big Rick Glaser.
Rod Vashon Holden presents the living embodiment of the American spirit, my brother, Rick Glaser.
Guys, welcome. Happy Monday evening to all of you guys. And first, let's say hello to our dear friend joining us from Northern California, the incomparable G Funky Boxing.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Joe. Appreciate it.
Well, I tell you what, guys, this would not be Monday night if we didn't seek the counsel of one of the most knowledgeable men in boxing. Well, the one and only Big Rick Glaser. Woo! Rick, how's it hanging, brother?
It's hanging bigger than ever.
And there it is, guys. Let's get started. We're only on borrowed time here, 30 minutes. So let's get started with this.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Bing!
And he said this at 11:33 p.m., August 23rd. He said this: there's more interest from the fans wanting certain fights to happen than there is, sadly, from the fighters wanting to make those same fights happen. It's a sad commentary on fighters in this era and boxing as a whole. Yes, I said it. Big Rick, what would those fights be predominantly? Because we are getting Canelo Crawford.
Well, it's mostly the American fighters. It's guys that don't want to fight. It's Tank Davis doesn't want to fight a rematch with Roach. The last time he had a close fight with Pitbull Cruz, he didn't want to fight a rematch. He like runs off. And now he's doing it again, despite the fact that WBA ordered the rematch with Roach. Now he goes out and fights. He's going to do an exhibition, not even a fight, with Jake Paul. It's just, don't know what to say. It's a bad era of American fighters. I will say that. You don't have any problem with South American fighters, Mexican fighters, fighters from the UK, fighters from Japan fighting each other. It's Americans. Leave it like that.
Right on the head, brother. And I tell you what, you also don't get any problem from the fans supporting their fighters either in the other markets.
No.
Is there a correlation there?
100%. It's easy to get behind matches that are domestic matches in those countries, and that's what the people want, and the people want to see great fights, and we're not giving our fans over here the great fights that they want to see, let alone pay for. They don't even want to watch them for free half the time. Oh. And it's a bad commentary on boxing. Really, well, I'm going to say something to you. If I was a straight up fan instead of being in the business, and I didn't have people to answer to, call me up like, Rick, what'd you think of that decision? Did you think the referee should have stopped the fight? Where's that fighter going from here? Talking about the winner. Where does the loser go? Those type of questions after a fight. Half the fights that were on ESPN the last 2 years, I wouldn't even watched. So,
yeah, you know what? Sadly, you're right.
I mean, it's just the way it is, and that's why they lost their ESPN deal. People ask me all the time why Top Rank lost their ESPN deal. Well, they started out with gangbuster ratings, and every year their ratings went down, down, down. Every single year.
Yep.
It wasn't a year since 2017 where the ratings went up. So that a stale product, number two, and that caused the ratings to go down. And they don't fight their stars often enough. You've got a star, okay, and you fight them twice a year, not four times a year. And that's you're losing the casual fan that watches other sports too. Now, the diehard boxing fan, you're not losing. Don't get me wrong, but you're losing the casual boxing fan, which is the general sporting fan. And there's you can't do that. One of the reasons people ask me all the time, why wasn't such and such a great attraction? Let's say Lennox Lewis, as great a fighter as he was, as eloquent a speaker that he was when he fought. In truth, he didn't fight often enough, and he disappeared in between fights. You never saw him. You never heard from him. He was on a beach in Jamaica. And they don't. These guys aren't taking themselves seriously. They make so much money in so few bouts that they don't want to fight that often. And it's like you're giving them a triple parachute. It's what you're doing. So.
Yep.
You're spoiling the fighter. If the fighter had to make his car payment and his house mortgage payment, his car payment, he'd be fighting more often. But that's not the case.
That is very well said. And G Funky, can you disagree with any of that?
No, not at all. And if I could add something to that as well,
Please do.
Don't.
I would say really turning away a lot of casuals as well is the fact that a lot of these guys, they don't want to win in spectacular fashion anymore. They're perfect with
that's well said too. I agree with you. Yeah. I missed that part, but yes, I agree with you. They're not going for the gusto. They're jabbing, moving around. They're faking their way through to victory.
Hey, it's a hit and not get hit, Big Rick.
Yeah, but it's not drawing people.
Exactly. Yeah. Fans don't want to see that no more. I mean, it's been a long time since we've had a consistent amount of pay-per-views that delivered at least the main event, guys got to go out there and try to put on a show, try to entertain the fans. I mean, it happened all the time. I mean, we go back and we see a lot of these fights from the 80s, especially from the 80s. Guys, they'd be in there, be a tune-up, and they'd be in there just, beating the hell out of some guy, making it look spectacular. We don't see that.
I agree with you 100%. You're spot on.
Well,
G Funk, I remember last time you were spot on was the first time I met you about 4 years ago.
Oh,
wow. I'm kidding you, G Funk.
You mess with the bull, you get the horns. You know what I'm saying?
For 2 months.
Look, guys. Yeah, here we go. We're gonna play this once again because this is, the topic du jour, and almost 10 minutes in, we need to get right to it. So here we go.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Bang!
And you said this, Rick. August 24th at 12:55 a.m. You said for Canelo to bring in Boots Ennis to spar means that Canelo knows he's not fighting a come to survive Jermell Charlo, but it's fighting an I'm here to win for my legacy, Terrence Crawford. Bud is built differently. We'll all realize that September 13th, #boxing. And look, here's the title of your program. It's Real Talk with Rick Glaser - Did Boots take a piece of Canelo in camp? Now, for this, I want you to see this real quick, Rick. See what your thoughts are on this before we get your opinion or further insight on that tweet. So here it is. Let me know when you can see Master Breadman Edwards.
It's on screen.
Very good. Okay.
I don't know how good, and hear me out, I don't know what the effect of the sparring is going to be, because it could sharpen him up, or Boots could take his confidence. You understand what I'm saying? It could go two ways. He could leave a little piece of himself in the gym, or he could start getting countered with shit that he wasn't getting countered with before, or it could make him sharper. He could go up to the next level. It could go both ways. You know what I mean? I saw Triple G in the gym when he was getting ready for Canelo, and I kind of knew he was going, even though I thought he won the first fight, I knew he was going to struggle because he had too much heat in the gym. He had killers in the gym. He was boxing 5 dudes, 4-minute rounds up in Big Bear. I'm sorry, 4 or 5 dudes, 3 4-minute rounds a piece. Everybody was world class, including Julian Williams and Ron Davis. They was in his camp. 2 other guys was in there. They was killers too. This was in 2016, 2017. And I was thinking to myself, like, damn, that might be too much work. You know what I mean? It got to the point where it was hard work for him, because
Okay. That's about enough. I'm
Well,
sure you
first
get the
of all,
gist. Go ahead,
first
Rick.
of all, he needs grammar lessons for sure.
Yeah.
It's something can't go both ways unless you're talking about a guy that has sex with males and females.
Oh,
So
Ching Gao.
he means either way, but that's beside the point. But his grammar leaves a lot to be desired.
Aside from the obvious, Rick, what are your thoughts on his commentary? Do you think he might have a point that Boots is
Well,
going to take the piece of Canelo? Because let's be honest, Rick.
Let me just say something to you. Breadman Edwards is a capable guy. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes he's a little out of depth when he's speaking about something. And I'm not disagreeing with him. I'm just saying to you, at times he's thinking too deep. Okay. First of all, he's only brought him in for a couple of sparring sessions. He didn't bring him in for 6 weeks. So I don't think that it'll have a negative effect. Okay, number one. Okay. Number two is I don't think it's going to have a positive effect. Okay. I just think he's just another sparring partner in there. You don't go full blast when you spar. So the additional speed that Ennis has and the additional power to keep guys off for Canelo, it won't happen because it's sparring, and they were brought in to sharpen him, up. So I think Breadman's looking into the thing way, way, way too deep.
Okay, well, that's a very good point, and that's definitely one way of looking at it. Yeah, honestly, the only thing I'm worried about, Coach, or I mean, sorry, Rick, my apologies, brother, is it's the age of Canelo, and even though he's younger than Terrence,
Yeah, you're not talking about age; you're talking about ring wear.
That's it. Miles on the odometer. Yeah.
Yes,
he's a much older, shop-worn fighter, and let's just be honest, he's taking a lot more damage than Canelo or than Terrence Crawford. That's the only thing I'm worried about. And are you sure it was only for 3 weeks?
It wasn't for 3 weeks. It was only for like a week.
Oh, okay. Then why bring him in at all? Was it just for the press?
No. It was one of those things that they probably feel can help 10%, and in their minds, they bring somebody in that fights like him. But they already had the Haitian in there, Vel Saint. And he, I don't know what they needed Boots for, but that's on them. How's that?
And also Hernandez from Cuba. That guy's a monster. U.L.D.
Well, they always say these Cubans are killers, and and animals and freight trains
Yeah.
but every time they get into a big fight, they have a major shortcoming, like Tellez did the other night when he fought the guy from Germany on DAZN on was it Friday or Saturday night? If you remember, I think it was Saturday night. He had a little. Yes, he had a little shrinkage problem, including hitting the deck, and and you want to know what was shrinking? Either his balls or his heart.
I thought you were making a Seinfeld reference for a second.
No, but they always seem to like come up with a problem like that David Morrell did with Benavides. They don't cross their path in the big fight. William Skull with Canelo, they just don't get over that hump in the bigger fights.
Yeah, well, G Funky, your thoughts on Rick's nuggets of wisdom?
Yeah, I do think Breadman is putting a little too much on this thing, and I think a lot of fans are as well. What I see, in my opinion, why I think they brought Boots in is obviously Boots is a guy like Terrence Crawford who can switch stances in the middle of a fight. So you want to give Canelo, get his eyes adjusted to something like that. But I just think at this point, we're talking about Canelo here. This guy has been in I don't know how many big fights in his career. Like this is, he knows what he's doing. He trusts his team. So I don't really see it being much of a problem. Could Boots be giving him the work in there? Who knows? But I don't make such a big deal out of it. I think everything's going to be fine with Canelo. I think he's going to be well prepared for Crawford in a couple weeks here. So it's really nothing to me.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. And once again, there's only one way to find out, guys. We're going to find out on Netflix September 13th. Guys, let's go to the chat room. Jesus Sam, welcome to the show, sir. He says, Rick, what were the pay-per-view buys for Fundora versus Tim 2 or Manny versus Mario Vargas?
I didn't hear what they were. I never even looked into it. I know that I was told that not the Sue Fandor. What's the other one?
Pacquiao versus
Vargas. that was pretty low.
Yeah.
That was pretty low.
Yep. Guys, and once again, there's a reason why they're not talking about a rematch between Manny Pacquiao and Mario Vargas. Right? Yep. Even though, the scorecards and the fight, could easily merit a rematch, but they're not even mentioning it for a reason. It didn't sell, guys. That says it all. That says it all. And my brother Alberto, my brother in Christ, he says, Joe, G Funky, and Big Rick, the dream team is here. And he also says, thank you, brother. He also said, Joe, can you ask Big Rick if Lamont Roach is really fighting Gabe Flores Jr.? That is such a letdown if you can't get the tech rematch.
Well, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
You can't blame him. It's going to be on Pro Box more than likely. It's going to be a limited amount of money, and what can you say about it?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't expect him to fight Godzilla.
No, I'll tell you what I can say about it. Lamont Roach versus Floyd Schofield Jr. Come on now.
No,
Sam says, yep. Rick
says, Not this fight.
Not this fight, anyway. Jesus M says, Rick, how much is Lester Martinez and Christian Mbili getting paid?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not even out in Vegas, but I'm out there. I'll find out.
Very good, very good. And let's see. What else? There's something else that hold on. Okay. Junior Delgado, welcome to the show, sir. He says, some Canelo sparring partners said, I don't believe that for 1 second because they have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. But anyway, he said some Canelo sparring partners said that Canelo would go 3 weeks without throwing a punch just for defense. Was that back in, 2010? 2015, maybe? Come on, guys. He's an old man now. He's an old man. Rick, surely you've seen the sparring or the training footage, the little shoe shine mitt work. with
Means nothing.
yeah. Have you do you like what you see though?
No, he's a slow, ponderous guy at this point in his life,
There it is.
and his career, and I think that Crawford's just too sharp mentally, physically. I think he's going to be very strong at the weight. He's built himself up over the last year, slowly but surely. He's done it through a lot of hard work, and I think he'll do. I think Crawford's gonna handle him.
I agree 100%. G Funky, do you concur, sir?
Yeah, I do. He's not gonna have to cut as much weight, and I think he's gonna be a lot a lot healthier going into this fight for sure, man. So I agree with Rick.
Yeah, I tell you what, guys, I don't like the way Canelo looks right now. I don't like the way he looks. He looks slow. He looks old. He can't pull the trigger like he used to. He doesn't look explosive. He looks old, and he's looked that
Well,
way. in his last couple
he
fights.
hasn't knocked anybody out in 4 years since he beat Plant, and he's an average white boy from Tennessee, for Christ's sake. Despite the fact that he was a world champ, a hand-picked world champion. Come on.
Yep, and
Yeah.
you left out meth dealer and moonshine dealer.
Well,
as well.
when was the last time, besides Plant, that a guy was a world champion from Tennessee? Was that John Tate and got knocked out with one punch in the 15th round?
I
Mm.
think
I mean,
so.
yeah, and he was last time I looked, he was a brother. This is a white guy. This guy's a hillbilly.
Well, just don't tell him that. I don't think he knows.
Yeah, he
Caleb
thinks
planted
he's a
real
brother. He
nice.
thinks he's a brother. I know.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, that sour mash is looking up real nice.
Real nice.
I'll tell you what. And
Joe.
our brother Bruce, Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and More, says this benefits Boots just as much as it does Canelo. In terms of publicity, I would agree. But what do you say, Rick?
I mean, I think it doesn't mean shit, to be honest with you. I think it's way overrated for everybody's involvement. Whether it's Canelo, whether it's Boots, it's just, I've seen this before. Sparring is a lot different than a fight.
I have to agree with
yes,
you
it
too,
is.
Joe, because a few weeks ago, somebody had shared a clip of Canelo fighting Billy Joe Saunders back in 2021. And looking at that and then seeing him in his last few fights, good Lord.
2021, wasn't that like 2019?
No, it was 21. He was on his way to become undisputed. And
then he fought Caleb Plant later that year.
That's right. You're right.
And,
you're right. Yep.
Yeah, it looked like a totally different guy. I remember looking at that video. I'm just like, wow. Yeah, it's like night and day, man.
Yep, and there it is. And Jesus Sam says, Joe, no version of fake Nello beats Crawford. Come on. Look, brother, in his prime, Canelo gives everyone a handful in and around that weight division. Let's just be honest.
And now that famous line, that was then, this is now.
There it is.
And now it ain't good.
Yep. And look, it's not just a terrible album by the Monkees. Lon says Canelo ain't knocking nobody out. You know what? You might have taken grammar lessons from Stephen Breadman Edwards.
Yeah. Crazy. Hey, listen, real quick, I want to tell you two real quick stories that happened since I've been out here last Monday.
Uh-oh.
Well, I tell you about the nail salon.
Yes,
you
did.
I did tell you that. Yeah, that was last Monday. That was funny. And then I was on the phone with Don King the other day, and he was he had even, it was the day after his birthday. He had so many people called him on his birthday. He said, "Fuck that! I'm going to call him the day after and say I forgot." Right?
What?
You hear what I said?
No, you went out for a second.
Oh, I said that I'm going to. I told Don. I called Don the day after his birthday, and I said to Don, I says, "I forgot it was your birthday yesterday." Okay, just giving them the razzmatazz, like just busting balls, right?
Mhm.
So make a long story short, motherfucker, you forgot your main man, DK. I said, Dad, you're not 94. You sound like you're 75 still.
There it
And
is. There it is. I love
Only
it.
in America.
Long live the king. I tell you what, God bless him. He did
literally the
so much.
king, Don King.
He did so much for boxing, guys. Look, say what you want about Don King. He cared about the fans. He
He did.
cared about the
Matter of
fans.
fact, I'll tell you one thing that he and Oscar had in common. When I started to work with Don, and he said to me, Rick, it's about the fans.
Yep.
We make good fights here. Don't bring me any shit. And Oscar said the same thing back in November of 2022. I want good fights. People pay good money to see fights, watch our fights, and I want good fights. I don't care what the other companies are doing. I want good fights. So there you go.
Yeah, and Vaughn's come back to you, Rick, is grammar is for losers.
Who
Okay.
said that?
Your
Some
dear
guy in the
friend
chat.
Vaughn. Yeah.
I
That
want to say
says it all
something
now,
about,
doesn't it? Go ahead, brother.
I want to say something about Don King. I spoke to a few fighters that worked with Don, and they talk about Don King. It's quite the contrary to what you hear from, what most fans talk about with Don King. They have nothing but good things to say. They say Don treated them well, paid them well, never had an issue with money, and they both said, if Don called me right now and asked me to help him with something, I'd be right there. So yeah, that's just the way things are. Another thing too, and just because Joseph and I are both musicians, Don King, for those of you that don't know, promoted Michael Jackson and his brothers' farewell
Yep.
tour back in the 80s.
The
I'll tell
victory
you one
tour.
better than that.
The
Don
victory
King
tour.
used to own a nightclub in Cleveland back in the 60s before he was in boxing, before he went to prison. And he used to have musical acts there 7 nights a week. One
Wow.
night, like jazz, one night blues, one night, different all kinds of different type of acts, but every night it was a different thing. So Don's heavily in the music. There's no question about that.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
I'm sure he didn't have the good old boys from the Blues Brothers.
No.
No, but you know what? He promoted. Hey, he promoted in the 80s that tour, and I mean, did it get any bigger than Michael Jackson in the 80s? Nothing was even
No.
close.
Yeah, the victory tour, man. The victory
Yep.
tour. And that was every date was a sellout. I remember
Uh-huh.
going in Dallas. Yes,
Woo.
I was there. So there it is, guys. There it is. It was sponsored by Pepsi. He got the Pepsi sponsorship
Pepsi,
too,
yes,
man.
that's right.
And so yeah, I was there, McMahon. So one last one, guys. Here we are. One last one.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Bang!
Thank you, Teddy. One last time. He says, and this was 12:42 a.m. August 25th. Says we're just days away from the annual bad guys in boxing list. There's many to be considered. The 3-man panel is pondering this year's potential selections very closely. Enjoy your Monday. What's this 3-man panel, brother?
It's always been a 3-man panel. Well, actually, it's been 5 years in the past, but 2 of the guys died, and I'm going to replace. I'm going to probably make it a 5-man panel.
Well,
2
I'll
guys
tell you what,
called me today, wanted to come on.
I'll help out, man, if you put Rick Morones on your list.
Yeah. So, believe me, Rick's a saint compared to these guys.
Oh, Chingao, I doubt that very seriously, but okay. I'll take your word for it. Chihuahua. Hold on.
Listen.
Go ahead.
Louis DeCubas Jr. lied so much. He runs PBC for Al Heyman. He lies so much that I'm up to 94 people that want to buy hats from me that say ball caps from me that say Lion Louis for $50.
Well, and honestly, I don't think you could find a cap that would fit the big noggin of Louis Jr. Like, honestly, he's got one of the biggest craniums I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And I think I'm being nice, Rick.
AKA fathead.
Yes. So can you give us a hint on who's on it, please?
Who's on the list or who's the on the panel?
Both.
Well, I'm not going to go to who's on the panel, but I will say that Don Elbaum passed away, and he was on the panel. Was one guy, and another guy that from Europe. He passed away. He was a little bit of a boxing guy years ago, but he'd been out of the game for a while. And he was on the panel. He passed away. So I'm going to replace those two guys. I got two calls today, and I told both guys they could be on the panel.
Let me take a guess. One of them, Steven Espinoza.
No, but he can't even be on the bad guy list anymore because he's not really in boxing anymore.
There it is. Wow. Yeah, you mess with the bull, you get the horns, brother. Any parting shots for our listening audience, my friend?
No, I'll be the same fucking asshole next week that I am this week that I was last week. That's all.
You said a mouthful, Rick, as usual. God bless you, brother. Thank you for being on the program.
Thanks, Rick.
We love you, man.
Thanks, guys.
Woo! I'll tell you what, guys, that was big Rick Glaser. We love him on the show. Outstanding.
Great.
Dude, 30 minutes flew by. That was amazing.
Yeah.
And never a dull moment with Big Rick in the room.
And you know what, Bruce Gass, that's a great comment there. Yeah, that's right. He did have that concert the night or the day before, I believe, of the Rumble in the Jungle. I remember seeing my main man, James Brown, perform there, as well as the Fania All-Stars back in the 70s.
Wow.
Yeah, great stuff, man.
You know, I'll say this, man. That's the reason why I think this is Dan Aykroyd's most underrated movie of all time, and that's Dr. Detroit with the incomparable Mr. Please Please Me. Yeah,
Yes,
the hardest working man in show business. James Brown. Yes, sir.
We love you, James. One of my greatest influences in music, man.
Long live Big James. I tell you what, man. But you know, let's go back to this. Hey, G Funky, grammar is for losers.
From the tri-state area.
From the tri-state area. Hey, Canelo ain't knocking nobody out. Do you think he realizes that he's saying Canelo's knocking everybody out by saying that?
Yeah. Reminds me of a certain someone. Man, I ain't duck shit.
Man, I ain't duck shit.
Oh man. Anything else, man? I haven't really kept up with the news feeds today. I've been a little bit busy, but anything new in the wild world of boxing?
Well, let's look. Let's go back to the topic du jour, and I'll tell you what I think, brother. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll tell you what I think, brother. I think Stephen Breadman Edwards is on to something, and I think the only reason why he was there sparring for maybe 10 or 12 rounds is because Canelo had enough. And I'm sorry, out of those 12 rounds or 10 rounds, getting an ass whooping by Jaron Boots Ennis, Eddie Reynoso didn't want his man to be discouraged before the biggest fight of his career since the Mayweather fight. In my opinion, yeah, he's gonna show some wear. Honestly, this didn't help. If I had to guess, this didn't help. And that is exactly the reason why the sparring wasn't, well, much greater. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. You know, it's just it's turned into a weird thing amongst the fans. It's something that I've seen since the picture has came out, and you know, they're doing the same thing with Crawford. I guess he had just released a picture with him and Lester Martinez after their sparring session, and like, oh man, look, he looks all beat up, and you know, it's crazy stuff, man. But you know, Joseph's been around this stuff for a long time, guys, and you know, I do think that, you know, hypothetically, if these two were to fight, it would be a really bad matchup style for Canelo. Someone that's quick, like Boots Ennis, and the switch hitting. Yeah, be very tough for him at this point in his career. So yeah, it wouldn't be a surprise to me if he was whipping his ass and sparring. You know.
Like I said, dude, and you know as well as I do, Canelo goes hard in the ring,
Yes,
in the
yes, he
gym.
does.
Unlike what Rick said, and once again, I love Rick. He is a boxing lifer, but he doesn't want to take anything away from this event. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. Okay. Yeah, look. I'll be honest, dude. Yeah, Canelo goes hard in the gym, and especially at this time while he's peaking. Okay, these are wars in sparring, guys. Go hard or go home.
Yep.
And Boots, from what everyone ever has told me, this guy goes hard all the time. There's a reason why you didn't have Jerron Boots Ennis in the beginning of camp and towards the end, because he wanted to give it to him both barrels, and he wanted to give it to him at full strength. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way for Canelo. Did you see his left eye?
Yeah, there's some people highlighting that as well. So,
Yeah. Dude, I guarantee you, Reynoso was like, "Oh shit, this was a miscalculation. Stop it, stop it. I don't want my guy to get discouraged." But too late, brother. You already let Boots take a piece of him in the gym. Guys, this is nothing new to boxing. This is nothing new. Once again, we've seen this. We've seen this from guys like Glenn Cuff Johnson, Antonio Tarver, Lucian Bute, Carl Froch. We've seen this. The dude from Kronk, what's his name? The bull from Arkansas, what's his name?
Oh, Jermaine Taylor.
Oh man, I tell you what, that's why he left the manual. He couldn't handle that heat at the Kronk with Andy Lee whooping his ass. He couldn't handle it. That's why he left the Kronk, guys, and I know this to be true. And that's why he got his ass whooped by Kelly Pavlik.
Yeah,
that's why he faded after the third or fourth or fifth round.
Yeah, it looked like he almost had Pavlik out of there early, and then like you said, it was a rapid decline shortly after that round.
Yep,
man.
Guys, he didn't have that gas tank because he left it all in the gym.
No, overtraining is a real thing. It's definitely a real thing. Fighters that get fights, postponed or pushed back multiple times, that could really hurt a fighter as well. Yeah, a lot of things could happen, man. So, trainers, they got to be careful with what they do. And, I think throwing Boots in there are some benefits, like Bruce said. And for me, I honestly think it's the ability to switch in a real, boxing
Dude,
scenario.
You don't need Boots Ennis. That's the elite of the elite. He's going to whoop your ass. He's going to make you look bad, and he doesn't know anything but fifth gear in the gym. He doesn't take it easy on you. Even if you hire him for sparring, they'll pay him just to go home. Dude, he doesn't know how to take it easy on anybody. He comes from the old school as, hey, you fight like you train.
Yeah.
That's it, guys. That's it. And I'm afraid this was a huge miscalculation for Canelo and Eddie Reynoso at this stage of Canelo's career. Let's be honest, guys. He's old.
Look what we got in the chat now, man.
Oh. Let's see. Is Hawker Mustang here? Is that who it is?
No.
Okay, here it is. Hold on. Oh, 50 caliber. All right, got it. 50, huh? You sure you don't mean 22?
Right.
There it is. Crawford is going to run like a biatch once he gets cracked. Dude, I hate to break this to you, man, but this isn't the Canelo of old. This is an old Canelo. He's not going to get cracked by Canelo. Canelo cannot pull the trigger anymore. Or didn't you see his last two fights?
Yeah.
Crawford has the worst resume. Look.
Oh,
okay,
gosh.
now once again, here we go with fans. I'm going to give it a lesson. And here's once again the words of Emmanuel Stewart, the late great Emmanuel Stewart. Resumes, records, and trinkets are for fans, boxing writers, and network executives who don't quite understand what they're looking at in the ring just yet. This is why most ignorant fans, and I mean ignorant in literal definition, brother. Look it up. This is why most ignorant fans will always turn to resume when trying to size up a fighter, because they really don't know what they're looking at. So thanks for playing, 22.
Yeah, I think I've said this, a few weeks ago when we were talking about this matchup, about how it's mostly the Canelo fans that bring that to the table, the whole resume thing. And look, guys, Crawford doesn't have to have a better career than Canelo to beat him next month, guys. He just needs to be better than Canelo for 12 rounds, and that's it.
How did Beeble's resume look?
Exactly. Had a terrible resume going into the fight with Canelo and made it look easy against the guy.
Yeah, guys, once again, when you know what you look at in the ring, yeah, it says it all. You can rely on your eyes. That's exactly what Emmanuel used to tell me. Your eyes don't deceive you. Trust what your eyes tell you. If you know what you're looking at, that says it all. That's why I like to see sparring before I make a prediction on any fight. That's right. And dude, my eyes didn't deceive me before the last fight, and they definitely don't deceive me now. Yep. So sorry, 22. I wouldn't put any money on Canelo.
Yep. And if we listen to what Emmanuel would say, just think back. I don't know how long 50 Cal has been watching boxing, but I noticed this well before I even met Joseph about Coach Emmanuel Stewart. I mean, it was literally the first round most of the time. He would be predicting what's going to happen sooner or later in the fight. And yeah, most of the time that happened. So yeah, he definitely knows what the hell he's looking at in there.
Look. And Jay Will. Beeble's a light heavyweight. Canelo's a small. That's not a good comparison. Brother, we're talking about resumes. Yes. We're talking about resumes telling you the big picture. It doesn't tell you shite, because resumes are contingent upon promoter and ticket sales. If you're not a ticket seller, good luck getting all of the best fighters and the best contenders in and around your division to get in the ring with you. Look at Murtazalia Bakram. Because he can't sell tickets. How's that faring for him?
Yep. Can't get a fucking date to save his life.
That's it. So stop it, Jay Will. You sound anyway, dude, that doesn't surprise me though, guys. They're just getting butthurt. That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, they're getting like Devin Haney, who, guys, this is the only thing I'm gonna say about it. His appeal got thrown in the dumpster by the second judge, saying, hey, this is boxing. Damage, physical damage is to be expected. You can't sue for assault and battery if you're a prize fighter and it takes place in the ring. So sorry, Devin Haney, your appeal got shot down again.
Oh man, that's funny.
You hate to see it.
What are we gonna say? What are we gonna say if he gets knocked out? We're gonna say, "Hey, congratulations, Canelo!
Congratulations!" But look, if you can't knock out Hamburger Langa, if you can't knock out someone who likes to block punches with his face, like Jaime Munguia or Gorilla from the UK, there's no way in Hades he's knocking out Terrence Crawford. Let's be real, guys. Once again, I hope you know what you're looking at.
And this is not a typical fan channel and show, 50 Cal. We don't give a shit who wins these fights, okay? We don't come on here and talk shit all day long. If you want to go and listen to a circle jerk, then there's plenty of channels, bro. Help yourself.
There it is, man. There it is, guys. There it is. And once again, Marvin, good to see you, my friend. And he says, I think it's going to be like Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard. I think that's exactly how it's going to look.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't want to say that, but you know what? That's exactly how it's going to look, brother. Good eye, man. Once again, that's a guy who actually knows what he's looking at in the ring. And Bruce, hey, Marquis of Queensberry made rules in 1867 for weight divisions for a reason. And the internet's still undefeated. We love you, Bruce. We're just jiving with you. I just like to do voices, my friend. God bless you, my brother. Guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz and More. Always great stuff. I just would like to tell him, hey, you don't have to steal this one if you've got a Netflix.
Yeah. Hey, Joe.
Right on, man.
Joe, I don't know if you're gonna put the link out there tonight, but if you are going to, now's a good time. I'm gonna step away, put the kids to bed, and I'll be back. All right?
No. I'm probably gonna go to the hospital, man. And guys, I'd like to ask all of you, please continue to pray for my son Joseph Heron Jr. and my grandson Boaz Logan Heron. Yeah, because he's still in the hospital. He was born last Saturday, and he's been in the hospital for the last 8 days, 9 days. So we still haven't been able to bring him home. He's so please, he's fighting for his life. Please keep my son and my grandson in your prayers, please, guys. I'm calling on all prayer warriors tonight. So God bless all of you. And I tell you what, I'm gonna have to call it a short night. But guys, thank you so much. G Funky, would you like to give any parting shots, or are you already left?
No, I'm still here, man. Look, guys, again, we're just talking boxing here. It's not personal. So some of you guys with these comments in the chat.
Are you talking about the last comment?
Yeah. Nobody takes this stuff serious, brother. Okay.
No, Kamikaze's great. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Oh no, you hold on, let me just point it. It's 22, right? Yeah. But hey, Mr. Pistol. Hey, brother, don't dude, we don't get upset. You know why? Because we don't care.
Right.
Honestly, it wouldn't upset us either way, whoever won. The only thing we care about is it going to be exciting for the fans and for the health of the sport?
As long as it's a good night for the sport and the business, that's all we care about, man. And that you guys should feel the same way, even if your favorite fighter takes a loss. Guys, don't take it personal, all right? But
well, look, to a certain extent, we need fans like that. Hey, and thank you, brother Bruce. Love you, man.
And guys, make sure again, don't forget, say a prayer for Joseph and his family tonight. It's very important, man. The power of prayer is very important, guys. It is very powerful. Believe me, I know, guys.
Absolutely, guys. It's our first line of defense. It's not our last resort. It's our first line of defense against all evils of this world and the next. So with that said, thank you all, and I appreciate all of your well wishes. Please keep my son and my grandson in your prayers. God bless all of you. On behalf of Big Rick, on behalf of G Funky Boxing, I'm Joseph Heron. You've been listening to WaraWeek Boxing. Have a great evening, everybody.
Rod Vashon Holden presents the living embodiment of the American spirit, my brother, Rick Glaser.